So you kind of grew up in this your whole life. As a your pro debut.
Feels great. Carry on the family name, the legacy.
What does that really entail? Dad is the first winner of the
So when he started, the whole goal was to spread jiu-jitsu. Same goal continues today. Spread jiu-jitsu as far as we can, as wide as we can. You know, we're here to like I said, carry on the family name and legacy. You know, make my grandfather proud, make my father proud.
And that comes with a certain amount of expectation and also a target on your back, perhaps.
Yeah, I guess. So that's why I'm here to fight.
You watch the old videos of your pops?
I have.
Yeah.
Yes.
What do you think?
Man, it would have sucked to fight with no gloves on. You know, no time limits, no gloves, no weight category. Hey, I'll do it. You know, I'm fighting at 170 and I walk around at 170. I got no problem doing it, but it's hard to live up to that expectation, you know?
So you're making your pro debut. As far as I know, you have one amateur fight under your belt. You want to know, was there any thought of having some more amateur fights before turning pro?
There were, but my father felt I was ready to step up. So that's why we're sitting here now.
Congrats.
Thank you.
How involved is your father in your training and
Very,
development?
very. Head coach, very involved.
So what is, through the time, obviously jiu-jitsu is part of what you're
Yes.
doing. What else has he brought into that?
Boxing, a little bit of wrestling, kickboxing, little bit of judo also, just the throws, but you know, we focus mostly on jiu-jitsu. Like I said, I'm here to spread jiu-jitsu, you know, so.
I heard you just got your brown belt.
Yes, just got it.
What did that mean to you?
It's been a long time. Let's just say I've been doing this since I was very little, so it took me a while. But I'm glad I got it.
How old were you actually when you first started training?
Since I can walk. We've been on the mats. All Gracies grow up on the mats since we can walk.
Is it ever the kind of thing where you're waking up in the morning with, getting choked just to see if you can get out of it?
No, it's not that crazy.
Have you talked to any of maybe your cousins, like the third generation of the Gracies, about competing and what it's like kind of dealing with that burden of being, the first family of the sport?
I have. I mean, I have. So I train with one of my uncles, Helio Gracie. And, we talk a lot about the fights and stuff like that. And back in the day, when he used to fight back in Japan. And something my father used to tell me was, back in Brazil, they would fight for free. When they came to America, they got paid to fight. So it's a blessing to be here,
What are some of the, some things that you've gotten from, like your uncle Rodrigo or your father, advice over the years towards the fighting?
Stay calm. Don't rush anything. Be patient.
One of the things about being a Gracie obviously is the name and like the pressure that could be on you, but on the flip side of that, your opponents have a little extra incentive to sort of come after you a little harder. You've got a little bit of a target on your back. Do you sort of carry that sort of as motivation for you?
We prepare properly for every opponent. No one is taken lightly. So if they come after me, I trust that my team will get me ready for any situation. And, looking for the end goal is that victory.
You try to push kind of that pressure away because, most 20-year-olds making their Bellator debut don't have that last name, and don't get this kind of attention, and you are getting that, so you kind of try to push it away a little bit when you think about it.
I come out to fight. Okay. I leave the pressure, the stress at home. I'll deal with that when I get back.
Your grandfather Helio is founded Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'm just curious, what are some of your favorite memories of? I know you were a young child, but do you have any favorite memories of? Do you remember being on the mats with him?
Last time I saw Vovô Helio, we trained on the mat. He put me in his guard, and he goes, "Pass my guard." I go, "Okay," he's 94 years old. I'm like, it'll be easy, right? No problem. I go, I try to push his leg down, it won't budge. I'm looking, I'm like, he's strong, damn. So I go, I push the other leg, it won't budge. I put my hand right on his waist to try to pass the guard, and he pins my hand down. And I try to pull my hand out, and his grip, there's the one memory I'll never forget. His grip was so strong, I could never ever in my life pull my hand out from that. 94 years old.
How old were you then?
Maybe 14, maybe younger. Yeah.
You weren't able to.
No, not at all. Strong, but miss him every day.
Did you ever give any consideration to doing something other than fighting?
I grew up playing soccer. I grew up, all my friends in high school and middle school grew up playing soccer, so that was a big thing for me. But looking back at it, I'm glad I never went. I'm glad I focused on MMA, focused on this path.
Why? Is this the right
Just because if you look at it, I have a last name for the sport. I've been training since I was very little. And just people who play soccer, there's a lot of guys who get to that Division I, Division II, and they can go pro potentially, but you don't last very long. It's very little that you find a guy like Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo out there. So, I have a last name for the sport. I figured it's a better path to go down.
Do you see yourself as a Messi or Ronaldo from mixed martial arts? Do you know yourself that way?
We'll see. Ask me that after 10 fights in. We'll see where I'm at.
If I can ask just one more. Did you feel that your family was more interested in you fighting, or would they have supported you if you'd gone to soccer?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. They never pushed MMA on me, so it wasn't, it was my decision to come and do this, do what I love, so.
What was your father's reaction when you said, "I want to fight"? What was that discussion like?
It wasn't even a discussion. I came up and I was like, "Hey, I want to fight. Let's get a fight for me." He goes, "Wait, it's not your time, not yet." And then this past September, I fought my first amateur. Maybe a few months before that, he goes, "You're ready. So we'll get you a fight." September I fought, and now first fight will be for Bellator professionally.
What was it that he felt you weren't ready at the time?
I had just started my whole MMA, mixing all of the different martial arts and sports together. So we wanted to give it time to make sure that I knew what I was doing before I walked in there.
When was the first time you realized your dad was a big deal?
Man, since I was little. Since the first time we would go out in public and people would be like, "Oh my goodness, Royce Gracie," like.
What do you know about Devin Brock? What's his most dangerous aspect in your mind?
His stand-up, by far.
Strategies, obviously, take him down.
Well, you'll find out when I fight.
Was there ever a moment growing up that you can remember that you resisted or had some sort of aversion to jiu-jitsu or MMA? Like maybe you had a bad day at the gym and you're like, "This is just too much for me."
No, never.
Never crossed your mind?
No, not at all. I mean, I love jiu-jitsu. I grew up doing it since I was very little.
Can you talk about your name, sort of the importance of names in your family, and about
What do you mean by that?
it's a unique first name. How did your father name you?
Okay, so my name comes from the word honor in English, honra in Portuguese. So you switch up some of the letters, take out that second O, add a Y to the end, add a K to the front, and you got Khonry. So it comes from the word honor. Yeah.
And growing up, did you have to explain that to other kids?
No, not a lot of people ask. That's a good question. So.
outside of your dad, who's going to be in your corner on the 20th January?
My father will be there, and for sure my uncle Helio Gracie will be there. And Helio Gracie. So.
Pretty good.
It'll be, yeah. I'll have a nice corner.
You know, I was watching your amateur fight recently, and that took place in front of hundreds, small ballroom.
Yeah.
This is going to be the Forum, Bellator, bright lights. Everything about it's going to be different. Have you thought about the jitters you might feel?
No, there's no jitters. Once you get out there, your body goes numb. You don't think about all that. You think about what's in front of you, the fight. Think about getting through that. Once that happens, then you deal with all that later.
Do you prefer to have the hometown advantage, or would you prefer to, because I imagine there's a lot of pressure of friends, wanting tickets and all that. Would you prefer to be fighting out of state?
No. I mean, when I fought in Tennessee for the amateur, I had 20 people go. So, like from my hometown, from friends, family, so no. It's not that.
No additional pressure?
No, not at all.
What will that number be for the debut?
I don't know. I really have
More
no
than
idea.
20?
Probably yes. Probably yes. More than 20.
Double, triple estimate?
Yeah, maybe double. Yeah.
You mentioned you want to be the Messi of MMA. But you
Well,
said, "Let me
that's
wait."
what he said.
Yeah, but you said, let me wait 10 fights in.
Yeah.
Messi was amazing from his first pro game. Are you going to be amazing on January 20th?
You'll see, won't you? Are you gonna watch?
I'm definitely going to watch.
Well then, there you go.
What do you think of the state of jiu-jitsu in MMA right now? Where it's at?
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's important to know. It's half the groundwork right there. So.
You, compared to other fighters, having their debut, you seem very composed, very comfortable with the media. How much have you been practicing?
Practicing? Not very much.
No?
No.
Just a natural, right?
It's being around my father.
Yeah.
Always having everyone love and adore him, So I've been around it for a while. I've gotten comfortable.
Yeah. You've seen it most of your life.
Yeah.
All right, guys, any more questions? It's good? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.